Well, we know what a big challenge coming to Twickenham is. It had been how many years since 1983 since we'd won, and while we played really well 2 years ago, there weren't any supporters there that day, so we know this is a bigger challenge. We believe the team are ready for that challenge, the way we've evolved over the last couple of years since then, but in particular our games in autumn. But it'll be a big test for us, first game of the championship.
Gregor, what are the common threads of where you've managed to hurt England previously and the success you've had against them?
Probably a couple of things stand out: accuracy and belief. So the accuracy in 2018, especially our passing game was excellent that day. Defensively in the last 15 minutes, we held firm. And that probably gave us a belief to go in over the last 4 years with a game and a group of players that know that they can win if they play well. 2 years ago, we were really accurate. You have to match England up front. If you can get an edge in that area, then even better. But I thought our pack performed really well 2 years ago, and they'll have to do that again in a couple of weeks' time.
And could I ask you about Finn Smith, the conversations you'd had with him prior to this squad announcement?
Yeah, well, look, we wish Finn all the best with his England career. He's an excellent young player. I spoke to him on a few occasions over the last 12 months, 18 months. He's got strong connections to the same club as I played for in the Borders. His granddad played for Gala in the Lions. Obviously his parents are Scottish, but he's brought up in England, and he had the option of committing to one of two countries. So it happens a lot with young players, and I'm sure he'll have a big, bright international future ahead of him.
Hi Gregor, could I just ask you about a different out half, Ben Healy? Just tell us, when did he first come on your radar?
About 2 years ago, he was speaking to Glasgow, or Glasgow was speaking to him, and I was asked by Glasgow to have a conversation with Ben, just to give him feedback on his game, talk about the types of player we look for in the Scotland team. He didn't sign for Glasgow then, but about 6 months ago, probably less than 6 months ago, 3 or 4 months ago, Edinburgh were speaking to him, and he came over to watch one of our internationals in November. I caught up with him the day before that international. I've spoken to him on a couple other occasions, giving him feedback on his game. So yeah, similar conversation that we have with players that are already in our squad, but obviously ones that are dual qualified. It's a little bit different until they commit, and then you have more conversations about their game.
That obviously speaks volumes for how highly then you rate him. Like, how much do you think he can add to your squad?
Yeah, he'll definitely add to the squad. He's a different type of player to the 10s we have in our squad. He's shown over the last 3 games he's played for Munster. So the Ulster game, the Lions game where he started, and even yesterday, that he's thriving in those big games, thriving in a challenging time for him, where he's made a commitment to another team and another country for another team for next season. He's a really good rugby player in terms of knowing the system, being connected. He's got a strong kicking game, and he has real physical potential. The way he obviously is built, both defensively and attacking. So, yeah, he'll add depth to that position, but real competition for the 10s we have in our squad.
Hi Gregor, just another 10. Finn Russell's back in the squad, came back in during the autumn. Are you happy with where he is, with where you are with him? And can I also, Jamie, you've played with him a lot. You've now captained him. What's it like? Is he a headstrong guy? Is he a difficult guy to deal with, or is it all sweetness and light?
It's all sweetness and light. Finn was outstanding in the autumn. Both in how he played. It was probably the best he's played for Scotland in maybe two or 3 years. It was a real high level against New Zealand, and an even better performance against Argentina. But he was great around the group, like he always is. He's very good to work with in a training week. he's now at a level of experience where he understands the game and what defences are going to do. Physically, he's in really good shape too. So he had a couple of weeks off, or a week off for Racing over Christmas. I think that'll help him during the Six Nations, because he does play a lot of rugby over in France. So yeah, he'll be looking forward to the championship like we are.
Yeah, I'd echo what Gregor said. Like, he's not a controversial character. He's not a confrontational character in and around the group. He's a great person to have around. Great person for the young guys to learn off. For us all to learn off. In fact, like he's really diligent in and around his analysis and things like that. He's always at the laptops watching training back, watching the opposition that we've got coming up at the weekend, looking for opportunities. The stuff that you see at the weekend doesn't happen by accident. So yeah, he's a great guy for us to have around the squad, and we love him to bits.
Just secondly, Gregor, the follow-up. Finn's had a series of great games against England. Is there something about that opposition that gets him going?
No, he's obviously played for us a number of games, and like I said before, part of the reason we've done well is our accuracy, and a lot of that is led through your 10. Your 10 gets the most catches of anybody in a team, so he's got to lead the attack, and he's done that really well. He's a very competitive player, Finn. This doesn't get talked about enough. Like, he's a laid-back person, even laid-back on the field, but he's competitive, and maybe the England game gets him even more competitive, and he tackles harder, hits rucks even harder. Although he only probably hits 2 rucks a game, but hits them well. Yes, true.
Hi, Gregor. Sorry here. I don't think anyone would doubt that Scotland have got a sort of, big performances in them, but potentially in the past have been guilty of not being able to back those up. I just wondered if that's been addressed at all, and how it's been addressed ahead of this tournament.
Yeah, look, I suppose addressed. Yeah, it's been discussed, and it's certainly something we talk around, being more consistent. And consistent isn't just playing your best every week. It's making sure that when you don't play as well, you don't drop to a bad performance. And you're right, the last 2 Six Nations we've opened with victories, and we haven't followed them up in round 2. Now, the opposition have a big part to play in that, but 2 years ago we played well against Wales. We were obviously affected by a red card. Last year we didn't, down in Cardiff, and that's something we have to improve. We have to improve within games as well, when momentum goes away the opposition, how we keep our togetherness, emotional control, and knowing what the next solution is. And that's something that really encouraged me in the autumn. We went 14-0 down against New Zealand after 7 minutes, and then for the next 53 minutes we were 23-0 up on the scoreboard. So that takes a lot of calm and leadership from the players, and accuracy to get back and score those points.
So how do you address that? Is it like a sports psychology thing? Is it a mentality thing? Or is it just an application thing and preparation?
Well, the first thing is being aware of it, talking about it. So from a coaching point of view, our players, reviewing parts of the game with the leaders, with the whole group, occasionally with mental skills coach as well, having a focus and anchor for us. Being aware that things will go against you. Like, you don't just win a game once in the 60th minute you think you're done. Like, teams are going to come back at you. You're going to maybe go behind the scoreboard. So being calm, knowing what the next job is. You can't always replicate that in training. Like, training is training. You might put in certain scenarios to say, you're 3 points down here, what do you do? I think people know there's still a falseness around that. It's dealing with it in the games. And our players did that really well in the autumn.
Gregor, morning.
How you doing?
Question for both you and for Jamie. The journey that Scotland Rugby has made from hope to expectation. Could you just talk about that a little bit? As you say, 83 to, I think, 2017 or whatever, you hadn't won at Twickenham, and then you've had a very good run in the Calcutta Cup fixture since then. Can you just talk about the way that Scotland Rugby as a group has found this confidence to believe in themselves that they can deliver consistently at this level?
Yeah, and I think you nailed it with hope to expectation. I really believe our supporters come to our games, whether it's home or away, believing that we can win, not just hoping. Expectation brings more demands, more responsibility. I suppose criticism when you don't reach those levels, but we've got to take that on board. We'd much rather prefer our supporters coming to games expecting a win than hoping, and that has been the case. And look, you're not going to win all the time, and when you see the supporters staying at the end of the New Zealand game, an hour and a half after final whistle, waiting for the players after a defeat, it shows how well the players have connected with the supporters over the last few years, and how much they drive us forward as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'd echo that. I think growing up watching Scotland, it was often like hopefully, and for us now, we're confident that every game that we go into, that we're confident that we can win. So yeah, for us, it's kind of dealing with what comes along with that in terms of, like you say, the kind of expectation and potential scrutiny and criticism that comes with if you don't live up to those expectations. But yeah, I'll just echo what Gregor said, that we'd rather it would be that way, because it shows that that we have the nation behind us has belief in us, that we can play well and win games, and we'd rather it was like that than it was a one-off.